now, big question is, are there contradictions in Scripture?
Are there contradictions in Scripture? Yes, there are contradictions in the Bible, but that does not make the Bible less valuable. Principles, there are contradictions in the Bible, but I think, in my humble opinion, to be honest to the texts, there are contradictions in the Bible. But I believe that my God is so big that he doesn't necessarily need an accurate book to save us, to get us right. Huh? I'm talking about eventually. Yeah? All right? So I am going to the question delicately, so I'm saying, but the short answer is, in my opinion, irrespective of how you want to define contradiction, and again, I think there are contradictions in Scripture. Huh?
Yes. May I just share a thought with you?
Yes.
That brings us to a current similar situation, right? Situation.
And bring this information to the question as to whether there were contradictions in the Bible. We are better able now to swallow the answer, to appreciate the answer.
Okay, so in light of what you've been saying, how do we position this text which says, "Holy men of God speak," as a removed by the Spirit of God?
That put it in simple terms, I would define contradiction as that which cannot at the same time be true. You cannot be dead and alive at the same time. So that has to be a contradiction, because the two things cannot be true at the same time. I'm sorry, ma'am, but there are indeed contradictions in Scripture. To be honest with you, we could multiply examples by the hundreds, literally. Honestly, the point is that when you recognize that you are secure in God, you are not afraid to look at the book and say there are contradictions. Because you're saved by a person, not by a book, right? My Christianity, my spirituality is not threatened by the fact of contradiction in Scripture. Look at another thing that convinces me that it's a futile effort to go preaching inerrancy, infallibility, that we do not have any of the original documents written by any Bible writer whatsoever.
That's what I've heard. We have copies.
Copies, and no two copy is exactly alike. And there are small differences and very large differences among them. Let's take the Old Testament, for example.
So what you're saying is these obvious contradictions that we have on this in this document in English, my holy canon, this is supported by the copies of the manuscripts that you have.
The point I'm making is that even if you say conclude that the text is infallible or inerrant, you are not concluding that the very first text that was written by any Bible writer is infallible or inerrant, because you do not have it. That is almost 700 years after they were initially written. And we know for sure that over those 700 years, they were copied and recopied by hand, and errors were made, etc. So it doesn't make sense you go for inerrancy, because that which you have is hundreds of years removed.